Depends on which Wi-Fi you're signing up for. The number 4. Very cool. There's no pants. We don't want anything to do with that guy. No spaces, no caps. He can do this all day, but we don't want him. Wireless. All over. The number 4 can take up the By the way, if you ever want to get into KWTR gas, the password is Jason.
You're changing that now.
It's remarkable that I haven't so far. Hello, sir. Thank you. Jason. Jason. Hey, Sean. Joy, nice to meet you. You are like something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. How so?
As long as it makes sense to me what I'm doing, I'm all in. Means later. It'll be 5 or 10 foot. Thank you. You bet.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Right. Okay, gotcha. Because she mentioned too that Chad's team was in Utah also. As well, because Karina has a license. Well, maybe that's the problem. I love my new space. Gotcha. I'm supposed to be writing this. Oh, that's funny. I know, right? I made it just in time. I there are some people.
Funny, you know, like 10 people in the room already.
I feel like I know everybody really there.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah. You got some competition with you.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was
Really cool.
probably,
So my name, having breakfast.
Yes.
Like I was so happy to tear and I'm like, how are you?
Oh, that's today. Yeah. It's not hard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can
The other day I took it, I like ate something else.
What? You're supposed to get one?
Yeah, they're just I just said I want my hair to look like this.
Oh.
Like,
You could get a halo.
and then I showed her the three pictures they just sent me and she said the first one.
So I'll call as I'm getting ready for my door. First drinking 2 hours. I still love And you know it, right? Will you tell Dad come
All right, let's get rolling and welcome our newest agent for March. Brendan Lindgren has joined the HHG team, so we're excited to have him part of the show. So we have Brendan. Thanks for Brendan for coming on board. We've got some other folks who are joining as well, but we'll expect to see them next week as they come on board. And how about this thing for not working today? All right, I did want to jump right out and remind everybody about the tech fee is changing. The current tech fee is $45. We are raising the agent fee being raised by KWRI to $25. So the new tech fee will be $70. We have discussed this in the past, but I want to make sure we are fully aware that this is going on. And to support that, I wanted to bring back a couple things from Family Reunion. Hey, I'm going to tell you a secret. I am not supposed to show you what I'm going to put on the screen right now. I literally am not supposed to show you any of these things that are coming soon. Because if I tell you they're coming soon, we don't want to be, we want to be able to hide behind that. I didn't say that. So, in one of the most requested features for 2022 is the transaction summary sheet out of Opportunities. And we will be able to export information sheets out of Opportunities that you can give to other people. So for example, your lenders or title companies, things like that. You can export information from Opportunity to share with clients, vendors, and other parties of transactions. It's fully customizable what you can show and print in that report. So one place, and you can give it to other folks that are asking for the information they need to complete your transaction. So fantastic for that. Anybody who's on a team, if you've ever been on a team, heard of a team, seen a team, been near a team, you know the designs as well a little odd when you're working in a team. And we're fixing it. We are constantly 100% fixing that. And it's going to be enable consistency between the teams. You can design and assets and email templates for all team members, not just for the one who's doing it, not for the other guy, and have the full library available to the entire team, not just the person who designed it. If you're not in a team, or if you are in a team, what is super exciting is additional artificial intelligence in our paid ads. So right now, we already know that if you use Facebook, for example, while you don't get a discount, I've heard that word before, you don't technically get a discount on Facebook ads. What you get is extended reach. So we use the buying power of Keller Williams to extend the reach of the same dollar. You pay $30, you don't pay $27. That's a discount. When you pay $30, you get extended reach. Touches more people see it. That is the value of doing the ad through Keller Williams Facebook. And we're going to be adding TikTok to that as well.
TikTok?
TikTok, yes, TikTok. At least as long as it's legal in the country. As well as some additional features, including dynamic ads and retargeting. So those are coming, those are all, and some of that stuff's already there, but the ability to generate more leads for less is an important part of what we're moving forward with as we move in technology. Jamie, tell us what's coming up next.
Yes,
in the
man, my
office.
freed life and your freed life. We all want to be freed up. But Jordan Freed is somebody that is extremely well respected in the coaching community, and he's got his, Olivia, what's the group called?
Boss Babes.
The Boss Babes. So he coaches the Boss Babes, which is some of a very prestigious group of ladies influential in our company. And his big tagline is design your life, build your business, fuel your purpose. So that's a good timing. You know, just as the spring market is off and going, we reset, reevaluate where you're at personally, professionally, and gain some more momentum. Jason, did you have a question?
If I was interested in what Jordan Freed was all about, and I never heard of him, never seen him, never talked to him before, Olivia, where might I go in the next couple of days to see something that Jordan Freed might be doing?
He is hosting a class tomorrow that's free.
Free?
It is free. Jordan is really good at getting involved and figuring out what's wrong with you before you know what's wrong with you.
That's nice.
Oh, my wife.
What?
That's my wife.
Just ask. Well, your wife is a special gal, as we all. Thank you, but he's teaching a class tomorrow. It's called "What's Preventing You from Crushing It," and then the tagline is "The 5 Forces of Self-Destruction." And if you've never heard him speak, you can go to his website, myfreelife.com, or be on that call tomorrow. He's really probably the smartest coach I've ever had, and he's just really good. We have to have 40 people at this class, or the Market Center pays the difference. So we took a pretty big risk on hiring him, and we'll open it up to other KWs, and I'm sure we'll have some guests in the room, but we want it to be the majority. You guys. So there is an investment. It's $299 per person, and our hands are tied on that. So it's what he charges. But he's incredible.
So find out about him tomorrow, and then sign up for the class right afterward. Or sign up for the class now. And if you did want to sign up for the class now, you can do that right here on the flip thing.
Well, speaking of the speaker who just spoke, we have a how-to workshop coming up on profit share. As you know, some of y'all were able to attend recently the wealth opportunity that we had here, and it blew my mind. Many of you left with the understanding of how you can quickly make 25 grand, which blew my mind. I don't have that ability, so take advantage of it with your business. Profit share is another great opportunity. As you know, there's different ways realtors have to grow residual income. However, this is the real passive income. The other kinds of income are, you got to keep working for it or it ends. This you can pass down to your kids, you can pass it down to their kids. So Olivia will be here to share profit share. Thank you. And we have the 6 personal perspectives coming up. This is a big Keller Williams promotion as far as what they teach. The perspectives are phenomenal. The first one, Commit to Self-Mastery, coming up on the 8th. We have the lovely and amazing Carly Duckworth teaching it. So hey, let's give her one of these. Right? Thank you for kicking that off. I can't wait. And we have Ignite coming up. For those who are newer, we have Ignite class where we get to have our amazing leaders in the company step up, and you can learn from your peers. It's one thing to learn from different experts, but it's another thing to look right across the aisle at somebody, right across the room at somebody that is exactly where you want to be in a year or two. So that'll be exciting.
April 17th through April 28th, that's Monday through Friday, 1 to 5 p.m. First 2 hours are seminar about a particular topic being taught by the folks, and the second 2 hours, we're going to focus on practical lead gen with Jen and I, or Jess and I up at the front, doing lead gen and teaching that kind of building those behaviors and strengths so that you can be successful in your business. Because these are the skills that you need to spark a great career.
That was lit.
Thank you.
Speaking of lit, look at this guy. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Market of the minute. Jason shares all his amazing technological opportunities, advances, especially through our command system. And I want to also talk about, this is something we're just starting. Breakthrough Mastermind. A lot of you know that after our team meetings, we have a mega mastermind, mega agent mastermind. Why do we do that? We do that so people who are peers in basically where their businesses are at fairly equally can freely share and discuss what's going on, what's new, what's not working, what they're seeing, that kind of thing. And then the lovely, wonderful, intelligent, or I didn't say her name. Oh, Kelly Arvidsson is stepping up. And that is that's next Wednesday. Next Wednesday at 9:30. I can't read that. 9:30. And what she's going to do is open to everybody. So we're saying, hey, let's break through. Let's help everybody break through. She's bringing some of those concepts. Bring yours. Bring your thoughts, your concerns, your ideas, and let's mastermind. Let's brainstorm together. And let's break through the ceiling.
And what I'm really most excited about this particular thing is, this is a brainstorm out of Mega Agent Mastermind. And I said, how can we bring this information to the rest of the team? And so to see folks in the Mega Agent Mastermind come up with an idea, see it realized, and then bring it to you. And you can expect this on the first Wednesday, or the second Wednesday, I'm sorry, of each month in the morning. So you'll see that Breakthrough Mastermind, and everyone's invited to that class. I can't guarantee you who the speaker will be each month because we intend to change that all the time. But right now, that will be Kelly this month. So be excited for that. Also, I want to bring up my good friends, Brian and Drake. And they're like, wow, I had no idea I'd be up this fast. I was buckled in for like much later in the day. But the crazy thing is, that's actually Brian and Drake up on the screen.
I'm always excited to see what you got have next for us, whether it's going to be Star Wars or
Batman or
Batman.
Thunderstruck.
You went a little late, and I'm a little worried.
Living on the internet.
And now that he's carrying a big stick, I'm worried about you're thunderstruck. That's how he measures himself up to the mortgage professionals.
Well, thank you for the awesome intro. Hey guys, today we wanted to talk again about our awesome cash offer program. And our cash offer program, you might know it as BAP, B-A-P, is going to be coming into play here this year in a big way. And with more and more multiple offer scenarios here in the market, this program is going to be the program for your buyers, and it's going to be advantageous for a few reasons I'm going to go over them. So I actually have a BAP deal closing tomorrow, and basically this was great for my buyer because the sellers weren't going to entertain a contingent offer. And so being able to present a non-contingent offer was the key here. It was single-handedly got her the deal. And, some might use this program for a quick close, but for her, it was just a non-contingent. The non-contingency is what got her the deal. And so, like I said, cash is king, and it will be for the foreseeable future. Your offer is going to go all the way to the top of the pile, being cash offer. And you have the flexibility to close within 7 to 12. in 10 days or fewer, but if it's, if everything's perfect, you could close as soon as 7 days with this cash offer program. And you, the agent, will get paid on that first transaction when it closes. And so it's big for you guys. You can get paid right away. And I think it'd be well worth your time to attend the training to at least get certified. And we have 3, let's call it Zoom trainings weekly, 3 times a week. And so I think, again, it would be well worth your time to just at least take the training and get BAP certified so that you can learn the ins and outs of this program.
You don't have to be there for every one of those.
No, it's just, I'm sorry, it's just to be clear, it's 1 1-hour training that you have to be attending, and then you're certified.
Yeah, and again, sellers have different motivations. Closing in 10 days or less might be a reason your offer gets accepted. In your case, it really wasn't that, but it was a non-contingent offer is what did it for the seller. And actually, go back to that last one, whoever's got the clicker. So as part of it, we're doing a 1.0 buy down for the first year for customers using the program. And now they're kind of approving it month to month. I'm like, well, let's do it 6 months in advance. But if you get your customer approved now and they find something in August, it's approved even if we're not offering the 1.0 buy down. Kind of an incentive to get your customers approved now versus later. Again, so that Drake's got one going on Friday. Now, this wasn't mine, but in Prior Lake, it was last month, a different loan officer with New American. There were 11 offers on the property. Their cash offer was accepted and it was 26 grand less than the highest offer. All right, so there's reasons why and again, I don't have to tell you why a cash offer is better than a financed offer. Okay. And lastly on that, the training, jump in, see what it's about. 3 minutes up here doesn't really do it justice either way. And once you're certified, it's just kind of, hey, we need you to be familiar with the program before you're actually making offers. That's all it is. All right. Are you going to post something, maybe you did, as far as it's just to click a button and you're signed in?
Yep. Feel free to reach out and we'll give you that link to sign up for the trainings.
Okay. Next is, FHA made an announcement. They're dropping their mortgage insurance drastically, 0.3% from 0.85% down to 0.55%. So on a 350 grand loan, just as an example, that lowers the mortgage insurance from $248 down to $160 a month. All right, so that's $88 a month, just flat out because FHA said, hey, this is what we're going to lower it to. All right. In general, FHA rates, government rates are lower than conventional. So actually adding on the lower mortgage insurance, it can start making sense. All right, even if, usually I'm looking at the FICO scores, all right, where do we fit in? Oh, you're 650, all right, we're going with FHA. You're 720, now we're going conventional. Well, those numbers are now maybe going up. We'll take another look at FHA, all right? And VA also dropped their VA funding fee by roughly 0.125. It's something, it's kind of back to their pre-COVID numbers. And, so on that same 350 loan amount, the funding fee drops by $525. All right, so for our veterans.
Can I ask you a question on that real quick? Because I know it's kind of like changing, it depends on the loan, but as far as the mortgage insurance, what does that drop off like now? Or some I heard it's not, and so I don't remember what the latest.
Yep, good question. So on conventional financing, once you get that mortgage down below 80%, so if you only put 5% down, through regular payments, you're gonna get that balance down below 80% in 8 or 9 years just of making payments.
Right.
All right. Or you can have it appraised and, hey, now 3 years later, it's worth 400 or 100 grand more.
Right.
Now
So
you're
it's
below 80%
basically still
also.
appraisal for.
What about FHA?
Yes, and so
Yeah.
where your question was going on FHA, it's for the life of the
The
loan.
loan, okay, and I
Yep.
remember that changed,
It's
that's why it was.
not like a 11, 12-year thing.
Well, there's a caveat, if you put 10% down, then it falls off after 11 years.
Yeah, if you put more down, but if you're doing your 3.5%, 5% down,
It's gonna be the.
then it's for the life of the loan. Now, okay, geez, I don't want that mortgage insurance for all that time. Well, how long, you know, if you put 3.5% down, you're making that payment for 10 years before you drop down anyhow, if you're conventional, you know. So if it's their 30-year house, yes, then we don't necessarily want to do FHA. But how many, you know, we're reselling them a house 5 years later, so
Absolutely,
what's,
yeah,
you know,
perfect,
that
thank
mortgage
you.
insurance life loan shouldn't be an issue in that case.
When did that change?
I'm sorry,
When did that change for FHA?
5-6 years ago, maybe more.
You'd call some people and say sorry.
Yeah. I know, right? That's why I was like, I don't remember.
What the latest is,
Any
I feel
reason
like
to
it's
go,
always
yeah.
changing.
And actually, this is like an hour ago, we found out, so Minnesota housing increased, you know, if your income level is a certain level, you can get up to 12 grand and no payment attached. They bumped that up to 16.5. All right, so it's a little bit easier to get into, you know, prices on homes are going up too, so a little bit easier on the Minnesota housing. We'll probably post something on that, or maybe the next, we'll get into it a little bit more in the next.
Do you guys have a sheet at all that, something that could break down, or even a graphic about like how that would fall off if it was this percent or whatever? I think that would be awesome if you have something we could
Yeah, we'll get
use
some.
like that. Perfect.
We'll track some down. All right, thank you.
All right, you want to introduce your friend, Jim?
I don't want to call him a friend.
But hang on, I did forget something. I did forget something super important. She's looking at me going, no, you didn't forget. I want to announce that today, everybody, Tammy G's birthday.
Yay!
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, like I said, he's not quite my friend.
You did that in Mexico.
He's a guy that I was blessed to be able to watch kind of grow up, and then he kept growing.
Sometimes up, sometimes out.
Yeah, we're both going this way now. But welcome Sean Stevens.
Thanks, Gene. Would you mind filling that site up? And actually, do you mind if I? I prefer a driver.
Of course it does.
I don't know if I can crop that, zoom in, zoom out. All right, we'll go with that. Guys, I'm Sean Stevens with Home Story Visuals. When you work in real estate photography on the commercial and residential side, you spend a lot of time with realtors. And when you come into this business, you're generally a subcontractor who's working through another subcontractor. And so you get to see a lot of different approaches, a lot of different preferences from realtors. So we learned some things over those thousands of hours spent with realtors. And I want to tell you some of their stories so that you can tell me if they were making things up or if it's actually the truth. The first thing that we know is that realtors wear 1,000 hats and are super busy people. That tells us that one of the things that you value is a contractor who's a trusted source, who can get in, who has lockbox codes, who can use a super E key so that you can go out running around doing all the other things you have to do, and someone will be having your back to be able to collect those photos that you need and get them back to you quickly. The second thing that we learned in all of this time spent with realtors is that when photos are delivered back to you and you download them to your hard drive and they stay on your hard drive, they do you no good. They grow your audience 0% after 0% after 0% if they sit on your hard drive. So the fundamental founding philosophy about Home Story Visuals is let's help agents not only get great real estate imagery, but let's help them share that with the world so that when they have a new listing, they have a new announcement, when they have something to share, that we can help them compel telling stories without a lot of effort on their part. So, as a function of what we do the things in real estate media. Which things? All the things. So photos, video, 3D tours, floor plans, property websites, traffic analytics, and this automatic social marketing that I'm going to spend some time talking to you about today. We service all of the Twin Cities and surroundings, St. Cloud and Western Wisconsin, and everything that we shoot for photography comes back to you the next day. So we had shoots yesterday, those have been queued up, been put through the editing process, been QC'd, and will get delivered as soon as we're done here today. So I wanted to share a little bit about how we do that, grounded in the simplicity that we took when we started Home Story Visuals. We thought that there were a lot of complications in real estate photography that just didn't need to be there, that were not beneficial to agents, they were beneficial to real estate photography companies, and unnecessarily. So the first thing that we hope that you'll discover about what we do from our website is that we take a pretty darn nice photo. Whether it's in the air, whether it's a detailed shot, whether it's a big wide open living room, we hope that the practice that we use of demonstrating our value and just putting out content out there will lend itself toward the perspective that these guys know their way around a camera. But we don't think that our job ends there. Our true number one job is to help you grow your business. So when we take those photos, and we have gigabytes and terabytes of all these photos laying around, we think that it's important for us to help you share that story. So this automatic marketing kit takes the images that we collect, and we deliver all of them back to you. We don't cull them, we don't say, oh, you're gonna buy a 25 photo package, but you should really get a 35 photo package. It's nonsense. Just tell the story of the property. If it's a place that needs 10 photos, so be it. If it's a place that needs 100 photos, so be it. We need to be able to tell stories, not sell 25 count photo packages. So these automatic social marketing posts are our attempt to take the first 10 days of a listing and make a big boom in the market with your help. The way that we do that is when you sign up for a photo shoot, we go out and search for your LinkedIn, your YouTube, your Facebook, your Instagram profiles. We collect those addresses, and then when we post this content, we tag you in that content. Now, what does that do? Well, on Facebook, it puts a little ding in your ding, and it'll say Home Story Visuals has tagged you. So now you've got this daily, 10 days into your listing, someone feeding this thing to you, and you say, oh, yeah, that looks really good, share. Or on Instagram, Instagram dings you, you get that little notification, you get a marketing sample based on the photography that was taken at your place. And if you like it, you hit that little triangle share button, which sends it to your stories. We just want to queue that up so that you don't have to go and do the graphic design and pick the perfect photos. And we think that, and agents tell us that it's a great way for them to know that their social media feeds are going to be full of their general news, their photos, their video, and all the things that they want people to be able to find when they go looking. So here are some examples of those social media content pieces that are included in our automatic marketing kit. We also do a whiz-bang job on property websites. Property websites are a one-stop shop for all of the media that goes into your account. You can see it scrolls through all of the photos or video that was shot for a property. It has call-outs and property information, the text description that you put in the MLS. Here's all those social media ads that we put together. Here's the video, here's all the photos, floor plans, 3D tours, all of that extra content, and then a call to action that sends this, anyone who fills out this sheet sends it directly to your email address. So you get a new lead based off of someone who converts from one of these property websites. It arrives as an email to your inbox. Super simple. Okay, so let's go back. We do custom flyers. These can all be customized, moved around, and changed. And then slideshow videos that will, similarly to the property website, scroll through all the photos and gives you another piece of content to post, but in reality gives us another piece of content to post on your behalf. Now, when you share on social media through this tagging process, who sees it? When you get dinged and you get a notification, Home Story Visuals has mentioned you in a post, does your audience see that? Do your fans and followers see that?
Yeah.
No. So what you have to do is share that content, because even though you've been tagged in it, you haven't given permission for your audience to see it. Same thing on Instagram, same thing on LinkedIn. So the philosophy behind automatic social marketing is share it with you, queue it up, put it on your phone so that you can see it. If you like it, boom, hit the share button, send it on to your audience. So that's 2 minutes about automatic social marketing and the reason that Home Story Visuals is unique in the marketplace. No one else really operates this way. They deliver your photos and they say best of luck. We want to be able to help you win in a way that I think it's hard for agents to win, to always feel like they've had the time to be able to market themselves and each listing the way they'd like to. So we want to help that process. So just circling back, the last thing I wanted to mention before I let you guys go here is the philosophy of simplicity and no silly photo counts and helping agents market themselves, because it's something that we've experienced has been a hardship in the marketplace, also goes into our not one dime satisfaction guarantee. I've been on a quest for the last 7 years to find someone who will let me give them their money back, and so far it's never been requested. The guarantee is simple, like all of our philosophies at Home Story Visuals. Just keep it really simple. If we shoot a project for you and you hate it and you ask us to fix it and we try to fix it and it still doesn't meet your expectations, don't pay us. We want raving fans to work with us. We want folks who love what we do and love what it helps them do, frees up their time for other things. So if you ever need an opportunity to say, Sean, this just didn't work out, the not one dime satisfaction guarantee is our promise to let that relationship go because we couldn't help. But 7 years later, I still haven't found anyone to do it. So thank you so much for the time and opportunity, and I'll stick around after for questions.
I failed to mention that Sean is our newest preferred vendor. Outstanding, sir. We appreciate you joining the KWPR crew, and you can find his information in the baskets out by the door if you ever need preferred vendor information. And on top of that, we've got lunch here on thanks to Sean. So thanks again, Sean. Appreciate you coming today and speaking for us. Jamie.
I want that hat.
I want that hat.
My hat?
Yeah, it's like, I'm into that hat.
Almost as cool as Steve Rawls' hat. This is an opportunity to say hi to everybody online. Hey, what's happening? Good to see you.
Hey, out there on 9 Naples. Yeah. Family reunion.
Whoa.
Family reunion. If you haven't been, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been lucky enough to go twice now since I've been in the company. And so far, I haven't missed a single family reunion since I've been in the company. But fantastic. And I think as we bring up the panel and talk about some of the stuff today, one thing I want you to imagine is this one this year blew the last year away. And last year I was blown away. So I'm amazed at the value that we can pack into there. There's a reason that these people are smiling, and it's not because somebody said cheese. All right, if you've ever seen me smile, that's not this is hard for me. It was not hard that day. Right? That's real, that's legit. I don't smile. See a picture of me, you don't smile. So we're meeting great people, we're doing things. My other favorite story about family reunion is these three here. They went to Disneyland, but they actually were at family reunion. They met somebody in a bathroom, and they were also from Keller Williams, and she asked if she could tag along to Disneyland too, and they brought her. And that's the idea of family reunion. It's not just conversations about real estate. It is about family. It's a feeling you can't get anywhere else. And I promise you, as a brokerage that is about feeling, that place, incredible. Incredible. So with that in mind, I've got my good friend Jamie in the guise of Gary today.
Yeah, I couldn't find my mustache.
Couldn't find his mustache. He got a mustache. So he's going to give us a really quick synopsis of Gary's vision speech, and then we're going to move on to our panel.
Awesome. Well, I just really wanted to make sure that we just shared some of the slides. It's actually out now, by the way, the whole speech just came out. You can watch it all yourself. But we want to make sure that you're well equipped moving forward with the biggest and best slides for you to best serve your clients and help your business. So if you don't mind. All right, the first one we want to talk about to help you articulate to the people, say, hey, you know, you're pumping gas, you're getting food, or I guess you're in the bathroom talking about Disneyland. We'll have to talk later. Is how did we get to this point? There's many ways we got to this point as far as appreciation, how homes have risen so much. And as you can see, the last big shift, boom, new construction. You can see that there's a big backfill that we still have to fill in order to get to what the average that we hope to have be. So this is just one easy answer for you, an easy slide for you when you're meeting with buyers, you're meeting with sellers, to say, well, appreciation is such, and here's a biggie, we haven't been able to keep up on new homes. And at the convention, Gary blames some of that on local municipalities. Because they said, I've got my house, I don't want someone else to buy a house. So it was kind of funny actually, but Steve.
The easiest number there is the dotted line across there, that the trend was building 1 million houses a year, and then the shift happened and we went down to like 431,000 a year. So we were building 600,000 less houses in 2011 than we had been.
I think Gary said, we were down 4 million homes.
Overall, yes. It's going to take a while for us to get those homes built, especially since we're just building at the need level. We're not filling the gap right now. We're just at that level.
They said if we get 2% above this number, it'll take, and stay at that, it'll take 18 years to make up for this fill. So that just is a big reason why we're in, just don't have as many opportunities to buy homes. And this is a favorite of his. He likes to say that this is the slide for the government, right? What this shows is everything the government does is based on this line right here. So this is a 4% increase. Those of you who are blessed to have been in here when Colin Manson was in talking about how the economy works, where the dollar comes from, how does it happen, what is inflation? I recommend, if you haven't, I recommend going back and watching that. But our market is all based on this 4% right here. As you can see, market was cooking along just fine, no problem. We had a little bump. When that happens, okay, we're 2,000 or 21% above the trend. That was right around when the bubble hit, right? The bubble smacked and it dropped. So what happens is the government looks at this and says, okay, we need to lower rates so that we can get prices back up, right? We need to generate more buying power or more interest to jack it up. Well, then we had COVID, right? And so therefore, they did a lot of stimulus. So now we're really stimulated. So that is, but another thing he says is the good news is, even though John is 12% above the trend. Good job, John. Proud of you, kid. Even though we're this high a few years ago, record high, it's still not as bad as the 21. So we're only 12% above the trend. We believe that's manageable. However, you're gonna see the government really fight to get it back down here below the 4.
Jamie, can I add to that?
Yeah.
Like, I've had this conversation a lot lately, just explaining for those who are getting all their information off TikTok and other places with experts who are saying we're gonna have a major housing crisis or crash or a bubble's gonna pop. That's a great graphic. The bars don't show it as well as what he circled. So when it peaked out during the housing crash, prices were 21% above trend. Now it's already peaked out and it's on its way down a little, and it's only 12% above trend. So it's not like, I know we say this all the time, but it's more proof this is not like 2008.
Yeah, and there's so many factors with that, right? I mean, we don't have the upside down lending, we've got tight lending. I think the average median FICO score, you said, was at 770.
Yeah, that's
So there's a
crazy.
lot of positive indicators that we probably won't get this happening. We're gonna have some happening. Because here's the thing that you really wanna break it bare bones down to your buyers and sellers, and keep reiterating this is, okay, if they bought high, as long as they're holding on to their home, they're more than okay. So as long as, so really, wherever they buy in the market, because they have a need, they have reasons to buy a home. No matter where they're at in the market, if they hold long enough, they're going to make money. Steve?
Another thing, if you're going out to do a CMA on someone's house, I would encourage you to go back and look when they bought it or what they, I can remember in about 2003, 4, 5, and 6, Apple Valley was building townhouses and condos like it would never end. And then you get over to about 2011 or 12, and they wanted to sell, and their condo was underwater by 30 or 40,000 from what they paid for it. And there's even a development up here in Burnsville, right on Nicollet, that went bankrupt. And so, just be aware of what they paid for it and how long it might have taken them to get back to a positive number, especially if they were buying in 2002 through 2006.
Amen. That comes back to one other thing, right? One of our main jobs is perspective. So I think Steve is really going deep there and saying, we need to provide the general perspective, but he's even going further and saying, here's your personal perspective of your existing purchase and now sale. As you can see, mortgage rates, first of all, did people buy real estate then? Yes. They did. They did. And did they win or lose? If they held on to the home for a little while, did they win or lose? As far as appreciation of their home goes, they won. They won. They had the ability to refinance, and their home went way up in value. So they won. So again, I think the theme you're hearing is, what's their long game? Always be focused on the long game, and let's keep it all in perspective. This is when the government, again, new home sales, this is when government started saying, hey, we need to stimulate. So as Gary said, we'll never see this again. He doesn't think we'll ever see 3. He said, most likely we'll never see 4, and 5 will probably be where it bottoms and bounces back up and down. So this is a great slide again, sitting with your buyers and sellers and saying, gosh, I don't know about the rates, they're so high. Well, this is the average. They can visually see that, look, okay, I can understand that recent news would have you think that you need to wait for this. However, this is the average, and we don't think we'll ever see this again. Also, so many people, another part of the logjam as far as not having enough homes to sell, a lot of people went and refinanced, right? So they're looking at this rate going, I'm pretty comfortable with my rate. They may want to move, but they don't want to do this rate. However, we need to still help them see perspective. If they're moving from one thing to another where they're able to appreciate faster, that's a good investment, even if you're paying this. Oh, this is a fun one to unpack. I'd like to go through this quickly because we really want to hear from people as far as their experiences go. But ultimately, what we're saying is here, in 1989, that's what the price of all this was. Car, gas, house, what the mortgage average was, hourly wage. When it's adjusted for inflation, this is what the number would be today. And this is what the mortgage number would be today. 2022, wait, I got that backed up, didn't I, Jason?
So,
Yeah,
if you bought a house back in 1989, adjusted for inflation.
That's what it would be
The average
then,
house
pardon me.
bought in 1989, adjusted for inflation, your mortgage rate would be $1,675.
Thank you.
If you bought a house today at the average price, the average mortgage would be $1,722. So when people say, man, my house payment is so out of control, it's not realistically any different than it was in 1989. You're being brought to an assumption that isn't accurate. At the end of the day, yes, your house does cost more. But when you factor in inflation and the cost of the house, what you're paying truly really hasn't changed much over the past, 30 years? I mean, so again, your job as an agent, our job collectively is to provide perspective. And I think Colin says it best when he says, compared to what? Housing prices today are out of control. Compared to what? Compared to what? Because if you bought the same house back in 1989, you paid the mortgage rates that were in place then, your mortgage payment wouldn't be much different than it is now, adjusted for inflation, right? So
20%.
the crazy thing is, it's 2.8% different. The crazy thing is, actually, at today's wages, you're actually paying less because your wages have gone up 14.7% during that time, adjusted for inflation. And your house payment's only gone up 2%, so technically you're paying less. I wouldn't dig that deep. I'm not sure one might be. I mean, if you really want to get out the shovel, let's go. But I don't think that's the way to go.
Well, again, though, the biggest point of that slide, I think, is Mr. and Mrs. Renter. This isn't changing in your favor. This other stuff isn't changing in your favor. Rent just goes up. Get in this game. Get in this game quick so you can build some wealth. And rent versus own, this is a biggie. This is one that it's interesting because Jason Abrams talked about that there's Grant Cardone. If you ever listen to Grant Cardone, he tries to, it's interesting, he speaks on behalf of a real estate company, however, he promotes this. Well, I should say this. He promotes this, which is rent versus own. So if you bought a home in 2012, you own that. That's great. But compared to this, it's not real good, right? So if you're just looking to buy a home for a year, chances are it's not a great investment, right? So what they suggest is that you take what your rent is and what your mortgage would be, take that difference and invest it. That's what that number would be, okay? The reality is most people will take that leftover number and maybe do 10%. So if we're doing it realistically, this is the number if you decided to rent and invest instead of owning. As you can see, it doesn't take very long. 3 years in, you've already basically tied what you would have done if you would have invested all of that amount. And as you keep going, look at the different net worth opportunities, right? So essentially, when you're with your buyer and you're looking at this, I'm thinking of renting another couple of years. It's like, okay, wouldn't you like to get that 11-year clock started now? If we wait 3 years, wouldn't it be great if we started now, because then in 3 years you'll be here? So use this to your advantage. Again, because of the way the market's built, if it's a long game, prices are gonna go up. So buy. There's no reason to wait.
Oh, let's talk about some people with family reunion said that they'd be willing to talk with us today. I do apologize, Tasha is not feeling well today, but she's out there in internet land. But if we wouldn't have mind having the folks who are here go and talk, stand tight, you here, show us your bright smiling face. That's not showing us your bright smiling. Go ahead and stand up, it's okay.
No, she is standing.
Amanda Mendoza, come on. Hold down, there you are. Amanda, Kelly. Marina, I don't know
This
where she
like
is.
feels awkward.
It
We
does
like
feel
stand
awkward,
right
we're not gonna
front.
have you come up front though, at this
Just
point.
stand
Do we have to
Uh,
continue to
stand
stand?
up.
I'll just talk like this, can everyone hear me?
Well, great, yeah, cool.
Yeah, okay.
And it's cool, we'll talk, but that's what, I'm gonna turn that over to James, but first things, y'all go ahead and have a seat. And we're done, I just wanna show you who they were, you know who they were, you can see them now.
Okay.
You can see you, you're Amanda.
Yes.
There are a lot of people who are new, for example. We have a lot of new agents in this room who don't know who everyone is. So it's important for you to put a face with wonderful voice, right? So thank you for doing that. Super important. So important.
Kelly?
All right, family, let's talk about some ahas.
Yes, let's get started with some ahas. Well, first of all, thank you, people that went, investing in yourself. This should multiply tenfold. And it's up to us now to help you take action on these things. So let's start with Candace. Candace, give us one of your ahas from the event.
What am I, well, I focused on a lot on like lead generation classes, and ways to love on your database. One thing I really like, Jose said, to change it from like client appreciation events. And because I'm not a huge fan of calling, so that's why I really like this. But
Everyone here okay?
But more so prospecting events where you can invite, more people and invite it to the masses to get them in front of you, and do those more frequently, and ways to make them affordable and things like that, so.
Did they come up with any examples that particularly caught your eye or?
I mean, one that was like, I can't do it, but he had over 2,000 people come, and he had a comedian come, and they did it, and, 2,000 people to get in front of, and they sponsored it and things like that, with his lender partners and everything, so.
So, and that, the difference again, prospecting, inviting people you don't know to the meeting rather than just inviting your database. So that's a huge way to gain additional leads. How do I gain leads in a big chunk? That's a great way.
I was going to add to that, I really thought what was great was he said that making the call, personal call to invite everybody, not only just like on your social media or however you did the invite, but also following up with a call. He goes, and invited so many more people because you're talking to them and touching them, touching them with a soft touch of, hey, I want to invite you to something, not like, do you want to sell your house? So I thought that was also a big part of it is, most people won't come,
Yeah.
30%
Well, and then
might
he
come.
said to call the people that don't come and say, hey, sorry we missed you, but that's okay, our next one is on X, Y, and Z date.
I didn't catch that
And
one.
then
That's
it
good.
gives you a reason to call them again.
For sure.
And for those of you who don't know, that's why our friend Ann Edmonds, she's joining the conversation here today. She was at family reunion, explorer, having fun. Yeah, and to expound upon that, those of you who went to James Shaw, he said that have the events, he'd rather have nobody show up because the key of the whole event is calling the people and then following up. Same thing, the key is having a reason to call and a reason to follow up. And that's the most we can do with that. Back in the day, I actually did the dumb thing that he said. I actually delivered my trees to my people, which was a big waste of time and false hustle. But I didn't spend enough time doing the follow up, and that's where the money is. So, Lisa.
Lisa is unable to be here today, but along those same lines and just speaking for her, a statistic that stuck out with me is that most people give up on their prospecting calls after one, and you should not expect any results until after you've called at least 3 times.
And the 5th call was an 81% conversion rate.
And you get added to the do not call list.
Kelly.
Do you want me to kind of just do like one?
Yeah, it's just what you feel in your heart that is a big difference maker for you and people would like to learn.
Well, I'll be quick with this, but I actually have several, but from one particular breakout that I went to. There were so many great breakouts this year. This class was called Become the Only Agent Your Sphere Will Work With. Ask yourself, how am I earning the right to be in business with my database? Because that's, it's not just a given that people in our database are gonna work with us. How am I earning the right? Social media obviously helps track what's going on. Be a connector when you see a need. Reach out to life events. Like I just said to Tony the other day, we had a past client they had to put their dog down. And then the next day, a past client got a new kitten. And so, that's the type of thing to reach out for. If you're doing a buyer consult for a friend or someone from your sphere, family member or whatever, always have them come to the office. They need to see you as the professional and not as, they need to be able to separate the friendship or the family relationship or whatever. Always, have them. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. This I think is a given. Support your sphere's businesses if there's any other, small business owners or whatever. And this one I thought was good. When you sign a listing agreement, send the stager right away. After the stager tells them what they have to declutter, within 3 days of staging, send 10 moving boxes to them. And the boxes, I don't remember which one of them said this, but the boxes that they send to help them declutter and pack things up have all their contact information and their face on them, which might be a little over the top of the face, but I thought, oh, that's super clever. And I don't know where you go for those boxes, to order them, but figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I was thinking like printed on the box or something. So, yeah, can I just give a couple other super interesting ones? This one was from the farming class. Do giveaways. Gift cards are great, but give away something that people don't want to pay for, like window cleaning, gutter cleaning, pressure washing the house, that sort of thing. In supercharge your client referrals, if you're in touch with someone and they're in your database and they choose a different realtor, find out why. Also find out why people do work with you. As you're, feel free to make the phone call. Hey, I drove by your house and I saw you have an ice dam. Would you like me to have someone reach out to you to take care of that? That kind of thing is, will build that relationship. And then the last thing I have kind of marked for super, important here, I think, is do an exit interview after the transaction. If they're happy, say, I'm so glad you're happy, but what's the first thing that comes to mind that could have been better? And then never debate it. Don't make an excuse or explain, just never debate it. Find out why they felt that way, and then send them to dinner. And I have a bunch of other stuff printed out here too, but those are kind of the really important ahas that I got.
You got first, Amanda.
There's so much good stuff. First, I would say put $100 a month aside now until next family reunion to buy your ticket, and don't feel so, just start an envelope. I think this was my third maybe, and it's always worth it. So it's a simple to make those small investments monthly versus feeling like you're having to do it at one time, but there's nothing that beats being there for sure.
Hey, man, real quick, when is it gonna be next year? So people have an idea.
It'll be the same weekend. It'll be February, I don't know if it's
President's Day or
It's
President's
President's
Day
Day weekend every
weekend.
single year, so you know when it is, yeah.
Baby.
So the speakers this year were, Molly and Ed were like incredible. There's so much to share, but if you get a chance to hop on and watch Ed, do so. But I'm gonna actually share, Molly Fletcher was one of the speakers, and more just about like energy and like the things that we can control. So it's not necessarily a business tip, but I just thought it was super important and something that I definitely need to implement in my life. And I'm visual, so I'm just like weird like that. So it's literally like, she's like, you draw a circle, and kind of like inside the circle is like what you can control, and then outside of the circle is what you can't control. And it's just like the things that we can control, like, lead gen or a positive attitude or whatnot, but there's things like, rejection or different things that come our way that we can't control. So it's kind of like having a visual of that and just really working hard on the things that we can control and just letting that other stuff go. I thought that was really good, because she said managing your energy and decisions matter. So really where we put our energy, on positive things versus negative things was huge. And then she had also said to make a smile file, which I thought was like one of the coolest things. So she has like a file basically in her computer, and every time she would get, a compliment or had a client who was so happy or something like went great that she just felt really good about, she'd put in the smile file. And then when she was having a bad day, she would just kind of go back and look at all the lives that she's changed and all the things that have gone well, and it would kind of put her back into perspective. So I just thought that was really cool, especially if this can be a busy business of ups and downs. You're either, seem like you're fully getting doused by a hose, or you're kind of sitting there. So just the finding the balance and things I think is important. So that was probably one of my main takeaways.
I think that's the most important thing, is, again, if you're selling widgets, you take best care of your widget machine. We're gonna take care of ourselves. And as a market center, we're gonna work on that too. And one of the biggest things is, every day we wake up, and if we don't shower, you stink, right? I'm checking.
I think the last thing to should show up as yourself. You have something unique to offer. So don't try to be somebody you're not, or think you're less qualified than the next person. There's a group of people out there that are made just to work with you, that have the same style that you'll bless, and just go out and be yourself.
So stinky.
Yeah. I don't know what the whole stinky part, but be yourself.
No, but when it comes to the energy,
Yeah.
how do you bring good energy every day when you just lost buyers, you have just found somebody that you love has cancer, how do you do all these things? You need to keep showering.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. People like her who when they fail fast, she talked about failing fast, successful people learn to fail faster. Okay, I just hit a flunker, how do I fail faster? I fill myself full of smiles, full of positive, upbeat things that are feeding me. That's a shower. That's a replenishing shower. You get all that junk out of you. Be purposeful about the spirit we want to share.
Ronnie, what do you have to share with us?
Well, mine's a little bit different. I have like a million things that I could say, but the thing that was most impactful for me was a line that Ed Mallett said. He said the biggest form of neglect for a child is a parent that isn't pursuing their dreams. And for me, that was like, well, I think everyone knows that family for me is like my most important, everyone's met my mom here, I think.
Or we know a lot about her.
And Zach and my dog.
Maybe more than we want to,
So,
right?
for me, it just relates directly back to my big why, and I shared in the admin mastermind yesterday that, I always understood the correlation between business and your big why, but when he said that, for me, it was like, oh my gosh, that's why we do what we do, and we're, it's just like a ripple effect. You don't just help a client, you don't just help your business, but you're helping your family, and you're helping the people that matter to your family, and you're helping people that matter to them, with everything that you do. And so that just kind of bled into all of my other ahas of okay, what can I do to bring more business into our business so that I can help my family and feed my big why? And so that just, that was like the biggest thing for me that I thought was so cool.
That is good.
Yeah, we don't have an excuse. We do go up to our children one day and say, hey, you can be anything you want. Just put in the energy. Say, well, why aren't you dad? Why are you on the couch all the time? Making dad jokes. It's setting that example, and that's telling them you love them, that you're trying to be the best version of yourself. What are they gonna do growing up? What's natural and normal for them? Be the best version of themselves. That being said, I think we're running out.
We are at the end of our report. And Amanda mentioned this, yes, go ahead.
You mentioned that that his speech was available and maybe the slides, is that true, and where would we?
The advertisement for Ed is on KW Connect.
Oh, is it just?
Right now, if you want to see that in the KWPR, in our Facebook group, there is a recording somebody took from their phone. Ed asked that he not be recorded and published in that manner, because he has
I thought maybe they paid him more and switched it.
and he'd like to be part of that show. But you can see that it is recorded, posted in our Facebook group. In addition to that, I would encourage anybody who has the time to listen to his podcast. It's fantastic. Or pick up his book, The Power of One. And our one, just a quick synopsis, is about doing one more thing, because it adds up over time. It adds up so incredibly over time. If you just do one more. I'm gonna make 30 calls today. I get to my 30, just make one more. Just make one more. Over the course of a week, over the course of a month, over the course course of a year or the course of 10 years. The impact of that one more thing is so huge that it doesn't matter what you apply it to. Just do one more. You've already come this far. Just one more. Just do the thing.
And what was his line, like the difference between winning and losing?
It is so small. And everybody wants to know what that difference is. What is that thing? And Ed will tell you,
One more.
it's just one more. It's just one.
And the one more isn't necessarily about being greedy, like I need more. It's
The action.
It's one more call to someone I love. It's one, when you start thinking one more, your mindset changes and then you start looking for and attracting things that you want one more of.
Because if you can survive temporary pain on the other, you need the other version of you.
That YouTube or that recording, it's kind of hard to watch, but if you search his name in YouTube, they did a whole like day with him, and the speech is pretty close to the same. So, and it's more professional video of it, so that's easier to watch than the family reunion, and the message is the same, so.
Could you find that and post it?
Yeah, I can.
You'll find all of that shortly on kwpr.com. Under the button that says FR 2023 resources. And in there, you'll also find the playbooks and other speeches and slideshows that we have access to. You find it all in one place, easy to find.
Gary slides will be there too.
You bet they will, my friend.
The whole speech will be there. And there's no way we could all do a synopsis of what that was about. And I will say I had an emotional moment being there. It all came full circle. It's like, this is a company that really top down actually really gives a grip on people. And what's really exciting for me being someone who gets to coach and consult with, especially with the technology, the gap for you is going to get much larger between other agents. We're going to separate us from the herd, charging the storm. Let's go. Lunchtime.
Could I snap a picture?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, was that?
Yeah.
Sorry, the highlight.